the G3 stuff and my AR-47 stuff because that's all downstairs set up. So,
well, we're live, so do your thing.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my rented space for Caliber Corner, episode 107 this evening, if I'm not mistaken. Unfortunately, the internet has gone down in my town, so we are without a connection now. It's just getting ready to go live, and it decided to not work. So don't worry, we're paying the bill. We're paying the bill. I called in the cable company, and as soon as I entered my phone number, it gave me a multiple service outage notification. So I'm just going to go. I'm running this off my phone, and I'm not sure how long the battery's going to last because I've never used StreamYard before on the telephone. So, Rich, I want to thank you for hosting the show tonight.
Yeah, no problem, man. I mean, it's the least I can do after you gave me an AR upper, right?
Well, sure. Gabe, you won it, man. You won that. Did you get it in the mail?
Yeah, if you go back and watch the replay of last night's This Week Unloaded, I actually did a live unboxing on the air.
Oh my God, dude, I feel awful. I drove 600 miles this weekend. Well, actually in like a day. So I was barely able to keep my eyes open by the time I got home last night about 6. So I crashed around 9. So I do apologize. What do you think about it? Did I pack that up well or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty of bubble wrap.
Oh yeah, I went crazy on that. Well, we're moving right now, so there is a plethora of bubble wrap in the house. I can tell you that. So, yep. And you got the magazine with it too. You're all set.
Yep. And it's an interesting bipod on that one. Instead of just being one piece, it's like two arms that attach to rail sections. I haven't seen one like that before.
That is either an X-Aegis or Filand. It's one of the companies that just sends us tester equipment. It's run good. And actually, I think the Magpul is kind of a similar mounting system. It goes right on the M-LOK slots directly onto it.
Yeah.
So you can move it adjustment. You can put it wherever you want. Way better than the single point mounts that you have on the bottom of a rifle.
Yeah, the one thing I could see that might be detrimental to that style is the fact that you can't like tilt the barrel like if you need to get around an object or something. But other than that'd be the one detrimental thing to that style of bipod.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, man, hey, since it's in the COD, you can go get yourself anything fancy you want to throw on there and go right ahead. Cool, man. Yeah. Well, do you want to go and just let everybody know about your show and your channel since you're running this bad boy?
Yeah, they're already on my channel. What's to tell them?
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. Well, hey, I don't know if anybody's coming over here. Good point. So, well, let's should we move on over to Squid?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Just got back. Well, not quite just got back. I got back last night from the Washington, D.C. rally.
Oh, yeah.
And I released my video on it. Everybody's got a video on it. I released a video on it. I've gotten a lot of comments today, and I really appreciate that. I really like getting comments. And everybody out there that took the time to watch and say something, I made sure I commented right back. So I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, there's been some pretty good coverage from people covering like a lot of. It was neat getting to see a lot of the speeches of the people that were speaking, and then seeing you guys all meet up and stuff and hang out. I mean, it's been really cool watching some of that coverage.
Well, I can say this: the next time that they have a rally in Washington D.C. that's not going to be organized by NRA, GOA, FBC, something like that, it's going to be grassroots like this, where a bunch of people pool their resources. And they try to get the word out through social media, and they try to make this work. I think that people need to take a look at what happened on Saturday and what didn't happen on Saturday. You know, there was no violence. There was no protesters out there. There was no harassing by the police. There was nothing, right?
Yeah.
It was just like going to a regular state rally, honestly. It really was, except, well, I wouldn't say it had more speakers because I've gone to rallies with that many speakers, just not that many speakers with that many subscribers, I guess. And there was the usual stuff that happens at rallies. If you go to rallies on a regular basis, it was pretty much par for the course. I think our numbers could have been much higher. I think there are people that had legitimate reasons they couldn't go, and I absolutely totally get that. You know, your car's broke down, you had a family emergency, you're sick, you can't get out of work. You've already committed to something else. I mean, there's legitimate, and then there's other people that had the resources to go, that lived close enough, that had the time, had the money, and Some of them just chose not to, and maybe they were put off because there was going to be the big parade there because of the Washington Nationals. I walked right through that crowd. It was not a big deal. They didn't even, or they were thinking, well, DC traffic sucks. We all got there in the morning before the rally, and it wasn't a big deal. There's just there wasn't this, there weren't busloads of these protesters there, Moms Man, any of that stuff. No Antifa, no nothing. It was just a pretty good show. And I would say to anybody out there that didn't go this time and maybe now is having some regrets, do two things. Keep your eyes and ears open for when the next one's going to happen, which it probably won't be till a warmer time next year, I would imagine. If they ask us to do it in the dead of winter, nobody's going to show up. And the other thing is start setting aside some money now. Every payday, just put a few bucks in an envelope. And when it rolls around next year, you don't have to go, oh crap, I've got money tied up into fixing my car, or I've got this going on, or I've got that going on. You can go, oh, well, there's that envelope I've been saving for, and go to the rally.
Exactly.
Also, while you're in Washington, D.C., you can see the sights and stuff like that. How many times, some people have never even been there before. It's an opportunity after the rally's over. You can walk around. Yeah, it's quite a ways to walk to everything, or you can take the metro or do whatever. They got little rickshaws you can rent. I mean, you name it. But you can. They've got those scooters too, like what they had in Indianapolis. They had those for rent. They have rental cars on the side of the street you can rent. So I mean, there's all kinds of ways to get around down there, and there's all kinds of things to do. We waited 45 minutes to eat dinner. I mean, it wasn't that bad at all. It really wasn't. So anybody who's put off about going to DC in the future, I'm telling you, it's worth the trip. It's definitely worth the trip, especially if you can carpool with some of your friends, split some of the costs, and to get some time with each other and just get to talk face to face instead of just over the computer and that sort of thing. And the people that were up there, the speakers, before the event, during the event, and after the event, they were taking pictures with people, signing autographs, and taking the time to talk to everybody that wanted to talk to them. I only seen a few of them disappear. Otherwise, they were available. So if you want to meet some of these people in person and just I mean, don't get me wrong, when there's 5 people coming up to them and talking to them, they're a little bit overwhelmed. So try not to be rude, but an event like this, if you wanted to get to meet one of them in person or get their autograph, or just say what you think, or tell them, hey, great job you're doing on your channel, or I don't like your work, whatever it is, they're there for that. So thanks for letting me use this as my soapbox.
No, I mean, I think that that's more important than anything. I mean, we've got to remain vigilant. We've got to not become, again, complacent or lethargic about it, or just think that our rights are safe because of Trump that's in office. I mean, yeah, I mean, I wish I could have been there myself, and I'm ashamed that I didn't go as a gun owner. I mean, I'm not happy about it. I'm not making excuses.
But Travis,
yeah.
Okay, first off, you're like a zillion miles away. Okay, you would have had to fly in, and it's not like you could buy the plane ticket 6 months or a year in advance. If they had announced this 6 months ago and you said, I'm going to buy my plane ticket now, it's going to be dirt cheap. But to get your plane ticket with only a couple weeks notice, you're going to be paying full price. And I wouldn't ask, I'm not asking somebody from the middle of the country or the far West Coast to, especially if they work a regular job, a 9 to 5, and I mean, they've got obligations, stuff like that, to just drop everything and put $1,000 plane ticket on the credit card. And no, that's a legitimate reason, not an excuse. So you don't have anything to be ashamed of. But there are people that live. There are people that lived a few hours away that could have gone that didn't. So.
And I guess the only thing I'll say is, being an educator, it actually costs me out of pocket to be gone on days when I'm gone, because I get 2 personal days during the school year because I get the summer off. Well, you say that. And those 2 personal days are being used for me to go to job fairs to try to get a job for next fall, because we're moving, we're packing. And so it's like, it would have cost me $200 a day to miss each day, $400 to miss 2 days, and then the ticket and then the hotel. But again, had I put back the money, I probably could have gone. I'm not going to lie. It's just that it's a priority and it's important, but I've got a lot of other stuff I'm balancing right now for the first time in a long time of doing, YouTube content. And that's it. I mean, I'm just saying, not that the rights aren't the most important thing, but again, I can only spread myself so thin with everything I've got going on right now. So it's kind of tough for me. If there's anything in the summertime, I'll be more than happy to go. I'll drive or fly or whatever, especially this summer, since I'm going to a new school, I won't have really anything to work on, because I've done stuff for the district, In the summers past, I've always been doing stuff in the summertime, whether it's teaching, tech instruction, laptop maintenance, whatever. I'm busy during the summer too. I'm not just off, right? But this summer I'll have more time. So if there's any rallies going on, you guys let me know.
Yeah, I
I'd
can
love to fly
come
out and drive
down
out.
come down there and I jump in your car on I-80 or jump in my truck or
Yeah.
whatever. And yeah. And
Wow,
actually
man,
we'd probably pick up a couple of Ohio guys on the way, because I got off work Friday night at 10:30 and by midnight I was on the road. I drove
Yeah.
down to Ohio and rode with Ohio 45 ACP, and we stopped on the way and picked up Rich. That's what we do here on Gun Channels and on YouTube. We network out.
Yeah.
We've got, we help each other out. I split an Airbnb 6 ways. I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't cost hardly anything to go down there.
That's a pretty
Just
good
like when I went to
mattress, too.
Harrisburg, I met Johnny Sprague down in Ohio, and he drove the rest of the way to Harrisburg. He knew I was exhausted because I got off work. I got off work the night before.
Yeah.
Jumped in the truck, went home, took a quick shower, jumped in the truck, drove down to Ohio, and he drove the rest of the way. And it's networking like that. Midnight Range TM said, look, when these guys are going to these things and you can't go yourself and you want to support them, it's not always about throwing money at them. And he's absolutely right. Doing something as simple as carpooling or just getting the word out. Somebody might have been, no, I had no idea a rally was going on. So we do a lot to support each other, and it's not always about money and stuff like that. And yeah, if you headed out this way in the summer, you'd probably be in a car full of, you might want to roll the windows down because, a car full of guys is going to smell bad.
Yeah. Well, you guys are going to kill me, but my internet's back on. So let's just roll with this for now, as long as we can, until my battery, my phone goes out, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound okay? Oh,
I'm here for the ride, whatever.
I'm gonna turn I gotta turn the Wi-Fi on my phone real quick. So give me 1 second, guys.
For those of you that are wondering, when Squib said there were cars on the side of the road for rent, he wasn't kidding. We were walking from the Airbnb that they were staying at when we got there, and right there, parked on the curb at a charger, was a smart car that you could rent with your credit card.
Yeah, and those, I mean, they had pedal bikes and they had push scooters, like you push with your feet. But those electric scooters that they drive in, they're fast.
And they had Segways too. There were some people that were renting Segways and riding them.
Yeah.
All right, so hey, I'm gonna jump over on my my computer here real quick, guys. I'm not gonna get everything all set up because I basically have everything all set to go. So Rich, I'll pop over here onto StreamYard. Let's see if this is it. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop out of this one, but I'll be joining in on my computer here in a second. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, I'll be there in a sec. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that was I've never seen where they would have literal rental cars sitting on the curb. That was a special one.
All right, how we doing?
All right, we back on your computer, I take it?
Yeah, it sucks that we missed out on 30 minutes, but yeah, I've got information already on 350 Legend, but hey, Kingpin, do you want to go ahead and give us a quick intro here, man? Before we miss you? Yeah.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me, and let's talk about some cool stuff tonight.
Definitely, man. Just for those of you that are watching, I'm going to host a Caliber Corner tomorrow, or at least I think so. I need to see what's going on when I get home from work and see what time slot's going to be open and go from there. So we can go ahead and cover another Caliber tomorrow. I'm totally cool with that. Let me put my headset on real quick here. We'll be ready to rock and roll. Oh,
I don't think anybody. I think Ghost is the first one. He starts at 8, and then at Night Strike and Sand Hills come on later that night. So I think anything before 8 o'clock, if you do your regular scheduled time, you should be straight.
I think that's what we're going to shoot for. I think we'll shoot for 6 o'clock tomorrow. I'll have to look on the Gun Channel's calendar here and see what's.
Black Cat, aka RL, he's been doing his Tuesday beer chat at around 5 or 6. So you have to.
Yeah, but Travis is talking about 6 o'clock his time, which is 7 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do it. Heck, I could do it as soon as I get home. I could just go live right away as soon as I get home too. I could be on by 6 Eastern, 5 Central, or even sooner.
Yeah. Black Cat said he's usually on 5:30 Eastern, so
That'd be 4:30 here. So I could go on at 6. Is he usually done by 6 o'clock? Is he done by 7 o'clock Eastern?
yeah, usually he's done by then.
Okay. Yeah, here, let me go to the live schedule here, and I'll look at. Yeah, if that's the situation, then I'll just go ahead and go live tomorrow, and we'll talk about another caliber, because I got all my information ready to go on the next one too. I've been doing my homework, man. Crazy stuff. Let's see here. All right, well, you guys should we go ahead and fire it up then? Should we go and talk a little 350 Legend here with the time that we have?
Sure.
All right, let me close out StreamYard so it's not using up any more bandwidth. So for those of you watching, I do apologize. My internet connection decided to go out at 5:55, and I called it in, and it was multiple areas here in town that were out for 30 minutes, and so we're just now getting started. What I usually do whenever we do any kind of a caliber chat, for those of you that are maybe new to this show or new to Caliber Corner, I just kind of give a brief history on the caliber, and then we talk about the performance ballistics of that caliber, what kind of firearms applications are out there, and just kind of see what looks good. And there's a lot of these new straight-walled cartridges that are starting to come out, or we've had a lot of options pop up in about the last 10 years. And one of the newest ones is 350 Legend. Now, the thing is, it's such a new caliber that there's not a ton of information out there on it. In fact, I don't think it even has a Wikipedia listing, and that's usually where I go to look up information on the calibers. Now, you can laugh at that, but most of the information I find on Wikipedia under gun calibers, whether it's 5.56 or 7.62 by 39, the actual specification information itself is generally spot on, because you can check the sources on that. So for this 350 Legend information, this is actually going to come out of American Rifleman Magazine. I don't have a lot on it, but this is what I'll talk about in terms of the history of the caliber. So here's what it says. Development of 350 Legend began in mid-2017 with the determination by Winchester that there was an unmet need in the marketplace for a medium bore straight wall cartridge. By the way, we talked about 350 Legend 9 months ago on Caliber Corner, like last February, like February of 2019. As soon as that caliber was announced, we hosted it like the next day, because a lot of you guys hadn't even heard of it yet. So if you guys want to know more information, you can always go back and check out that episode of Caliber Corner too, because we did have a discussion on it. But there's a lot more ammo out now. There's more firearms options out now than there was initially. But anyway, going back to the history of it, it started in mid-2017, and Winchester was trying to take care of the unmet need in the marketplace for a medium bore straight walled cartridge. Previously, several Midwestern states had established hunting seasons for shotguns and muzzle loaders only, therefore banning center fire rifle use by default. Sorry about that. In recent years, some of those states have begun to loosen the restrictions slightly by also permitting the use of certain straight walled cartridges that meet specific projectile diameter and case length parameters for the purpose of hunting. So as a result, the few existing straight-walled rifle cartridges meeting these criteria have experienced unexpected windfalls in popularity, as sportsmen in the affected states have flocked to them, with the 450 Bushmaster being perhaps the biggest beneficiary. But while the capable hunting round 450 Bushmaster, which is what I think we'll talk about tomorrow, remains expensive, elusive, and a bit punchier on the shoulder than some hunters may appreciate, Winchester's engineers feel that they could do better on all three accounts, and the research kept bringing them back to the 35 caliber. The ultimate fruits of their labor were submitting to the SAMI Technical Committee Group at a June 2018 meeting the specifications for the round, which was approved in January of 2019, and thus 350 Legend was born. It's based on the 223 Remington case, and it uses a 357 caliber bullet, and that right there automatically gets the production capability out there quickly for a variety of different rounds and a lot of different grain weights and a lot of different possibilities for application. And we'll talk about power here in just a little bit. Ballistically, from what I've seen and what I've heard, they really do compare it quite a bit to 300 Blackout. They compare it to 7.62 by 39 and also 30-30. There's a little bit of controversy about the coefficient of the round, whether or not it really produces those kinds of energy numbers once you get out to say 150 or 200 yards out of the muzzle. It's a fairly potent round. It kind of depends on the grain weight. What do you guys think about that? Squib, can you kind of comment on the whole straight walled cartridge thing? Are you in one of those states that now allows it?
Yeah, they started that I'm not sure how many years back in Michigan, south of US 10, so that's about halfway across the lower peninsula, you have to use a shotgun or a straight wall cartridge. And the straight wall cartridge can't be more than 1.8 inches in length. Above US 10, you can use center fire, bottleneck, you can use anything. So as far as that goes, from the reloader standpoint, you're using the same bullet you'd use for a 38 special or 357 Magnum.
Yeah.
So 0.357 diameter is 38 special. From a hunter standpoint, where you can use straight wall cartridges, why wouldn't you just get something already chambered in 357 and call it good? I don't remember what I said when we talked about this last, but I probably said something like this. This was the question that nobody asked. So, I mean, it's okay. When a company's trying to come up with the new hot item, whether it be a new gun, new accessory, new ammunition, whatever it is, they're trying to generate revenue. They're trying to build business. They're trying to build interest. And I think this is one of those things. Maybe somebody will use it and like it, but if it's for ranges of 100 to 200 yards and it's there to fit that straight wall requirement, you could already do something like that with the 357 lever action Henry. So
it's a good point.
I know I'm always Mr. Negative, Mr. Pessimist. That's who I am. But there's been other guns and ammunition and accessories that have been invented and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And some of them have succeeded and some of them haven't. But it's still, once again, it's the question nobody asked. So that's just what I think.
I was watching one of Hootie Who's videos, and he does a lot of these big bore caliber tests, 450 Bushmaster, 450 SOCOM, 350 Legend. And he had a person that left a comment on one of his videos, and I thought this was kind of interesting. And here's what the person said. Why 350 Legend? Why is it necessary? Because it's a medium range, low recoiling, affordable to shoot, 35 caliber deer cartridge that is legal in straight wall territory, but still makes sense in hill country. And it's made to fit in America's favorite rifle. Here's what I like about 350 Legend before we get into the ballistics a little bit. You can use your existing AR lower. You do have to have special magazines right now. I'm only seeing 5 and 10 round magazines. So anybody that's already invested in the AR platform, it gets them into that straight walled cartridge so they can immediately use their AR gear for hunting. If the state allows semi-automatic rifles for hunting with, 5 round magazine. The ammunition itself is relatively inexpensive. The Full Metal Jacket ammo, I was looking it up on AmmoSeek, and I want to say that I was seeing maybe $8 for a box of 20 or $7.98, which is not bad for what you're getting. You can actually save even more money if you buy it in boxes of 1,000. So there's a lot of application there. Plus, there's several different grades of ammunition now into the market. Now that it's become this new hot popular caliber that people want to get into, there's a lot more options for ammo than the initial 4 or 5 loads that were released by Winchester a year ago or less than a year ago. Let's see, what is Caliber saying? Could be a decent use straight wall under 150 yards. Yeah, I would say keep it at 200 yards or less, depending on what round you're shooting, and depends on what exactly the grain weight and the energy it's going to be delivering at the distance you're looking at. So just in terms of application, I can go out there and I can get an upper in 350 Legend right now, a complete upper for around $220. All I got to do is add a scope, and I'm ready to go for deer season. I mean, I like that idea, but like you said, Squib, it's nothing that a 357 lever gun or any other straight walled cartridge can't already do.
So I was trying to think of something on the other side, and when you're talking about it, it's a cheaper way to get into a straight wall 0.357 diameter bullet. If you've already got an AR-15 and you just slap the upper on there, that's going to be cheaper than a lever action 357. And you're going to be able to make follow-up shots faster. So for those two reasons, I can understand somebody wanting to get into this. Now, with more companies making ammunition for it, maybe it's going to pick up or it's going to stay the course. Because you know how some of those calibers have come out and nobody makes ammo for it, and then it just goes away. Like 45 Gap,
Or you get
So-
into a few companies that make ammo for it, and you pay a premium because there's no competition on the market for it, and there's no reloaded rounds out there. For anybody that just wants to buy it and plink it and use it, you don't have a lot of options. So you
For all
generally look
you-
at a higher price point. Yeah.
For all you youngins out there, back in the 80s when 10 millimeter came out, you could only get it from Norma. That's a Swedish company. The stuff was imported in here. Not that there were tons of 10 millimeters out there, but there was only one company making ammo. Nobody wanted to jump on board and make 10 millimeter auto. Nowadays, it's plentiful. I mean, it might not be a normally stocked item at your store, but you can get it from different manufacturers. But for a very long time, you could only get it from one company, or you had to reload or whatever.
Yeah.
So with this, if enough companies get on board, stay on board with it, then it'll probably survive the test of time.
And
So-
here's the thing. It's also, I mean, it's pushed by Winchester. It's got the backing of a major ammunition company. So unless they're losing money on making it, I don't see why they would ever necessarily stop making it. And it's just, like I said, with that rise in popularity of the straight wall cartridges and a lot of hype around other straight wall calibers for hunting, a lot of guys, and plus, not to mention the fact that the uppers are just cheap. I mean, I've got a whole slew of different uppers I can go with if I don't mind, say, putting a different optic on that upper and having to buy a special mag. I mean, I've got a lot of options now if I use my AR lower. And, yeah.
Yeah, you just mentioned optics. I was going to say, yeah, that's another advantage that you would have over an AR platform than a lever gun. Not all lever guns are drilled and tapped for optics mounting, whereas you find an AR upper anymore that really isn't. You know.
So what is the point? As the straight wall just slows the bullet down, as opposed to a neck down cartridge, or
You're
So
basically,
you're not going to
go
get the
ahead.
power. You're not going to get the velocity out of it. You're not necking it down. Kind of is like a Venturi on a carburetor, and with the straight wall cartridges. If you live in an area where, yes, there's acreage and there's farms and stuff like that, but it's populated, if that makes any sense. It's rural, but it's not that rural. There are certain rules about how far away you can be from a structure before you take that shot. You could actually have, I think here it's like 450 feet or 450 yards or something like that. You can see a house that if you arc that gun up, you could reach it. But if you're taking a shot at that deer and you miss, it's probably going to go in the ground. It's not going to keep going and going and going. If you had a high-powered rifle round, a bottleneck cartridge, there is a potential that if you miss, it's going to just keep going, and it could hit that house.
Yeah, I was going to look up the ballistics and just see what we're looking at for just a basic ball round, like what we're actually looking at. Yeah, the idea is that within a couple hundred yards, it's going to be dropping off significantly. So here's I'm looking at 0 to 400 yards, and I can't exactly tell you what grain weight this is. I'm just looking at the Hornady ballistics calculator. It's in the ground at 400 yards. So it does have a little bit of rise out to 150, 160, and then it starts to drop off significantly after that. Now let's talk about energy and velocity real quick. Go ahead.
Also, the shape of the bullet. This is a pistol bullet. This is a revolver bullet.
Yeah.
So it's rounded. It's not. It doesn't have that aerodynamic shape like a rifle bullet does either. So that's another thing that's going to affect between the wind resistance and the charge behind it. You've got that safety factor of probably not being able to hit a building that is a reasonable distance for a high-powered hunting rifle, to hit, unless you arc the gun, unless you were lobbing them in there.
Just looking at the ammo, here's 150 grain deer season XP from Winchester. It has 28 inches of drop at 300 yards. It's probably going to be in the ground. If you're firing flat, you're firing level, within 300 yards, it'll be in the ground. So that just kind of tells you, it's kind of matching, in my opinion, some of the higher grade shotgun slugs that are out there. That are, because I know Hornady makes a pretty decent polymer tip shotgun slug that'll fly flat at 150 or 200 yards, and then it starts to drop off tremendously after that. I can't remember what the bullet is it comes with. Is it the SST shotgun slugs that they sell? It's a pretty wicked round, but yeah, you do get some pretty significant drops. So I mean, that's part of the deal, David. To answer your question, it really does have to do with, for those more crowded, areas that have a lot more population or more woodlands or whatever, it's going to put the bullet in the ground sooner if you miss. Power wise, though, let's talk about energy. So looking at their regular full metal jacket round, their 145 grain full metal jacket round out of a 20-inch Winchester XPR rifle, you're looking at 2,296 feet per second of velocity and 1,697 foot-pounds of energy. So, I mean, it's got the energy. Now, what it delivers at 250 and 300 yards, I'm still looking at those numbers right now. That's just for one load. Everything else after that, when you go up when you increase your grain weight, obviously your velocity is going to decrease, and so is your energy. But, I mean, it looks like it shoots some pretty solid groups. They're shooting sub 1-inch groups out of that XPR rifle. So, I mean, it's if you want to go straight walled, it is an option, if you depending on what you want to spend and what you're planning on doing with it. If you really want to blink it and get used to it and shoot it a lot, you're going to be limited to 10-round mags for right now just because of production. But the 145 grain full metal jacket Winchester ball ammo for it's only $8.03 for a box of 20. That's what I'm seeing on AmmoSeek right now. Maybe $10 at your local sporting goods store or whatnot. So to get in, if you want to, let's just say I lived in a state where I've got ARs, but let's just say I want to go hunting. Man, go get myself one of these uppers, and I'm all set to go. So that's one of the things that I really like about it. Now, you don't have to go the AR out. I mean, you got a bolt action rifle that's out there you can get with it. You've got the AR platform. Ruger's got a ranch rifle that's out there. Granted, it's bolt action also, but you have that option too. So, and the ballistics, it does produce some pretty serious numbers. But again, I would like to see what the energy numbers are looking like at, say, 200 or 300 yards. I don't know. Rich, what do you think about that, man? Would you ever consider going with that caliber, going into something straight walled like that, 450 Bushmaster, 458 SOCOM, or 350 Legend at all?
I can use anything around here, so I wouldn't really be worried about straight wall too much in an AR platform. I got a 224 Valkyrie I got to worry about getting finished.
Yeah, I know. Hey, luckily ammo for that, like I said, 11. I think it's $10.97 for a box of 20 if you just want their basic entry level ball ammo for it. Yeah. And then you can go, you can spend whatever you want after that point, but at least it's not super expensive to get into. You just got to get that lower, and then you're all set to go.
Yeah, that's I'm sorry, Rich. Go ahead, bud.
No, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, that's what I got to worry about. Is getting the lower put together.
Calaveras had a question for you, Travis. He said,
go ahead, man.
What is special about the Legend mag? Does the 300 blackout or 458 SOCOM not work?
Okay, actually, I just found the thing on here. So here's what it says in the article I'm reading. The two cartridges geometries, however, differ enough that dedicated 350 Legend magazines are required. The guide ribs just forward of the round shoulders in the 223 AR magazines preclude proper stacking of 350 Legend within the detachable boxes, and standard 223 Remington magazines can't be modified by the end user. So you're going to get what looks like an AR steel mag. They look just like you would think it's a 5.56 mag just looking at it. I don't have any for that. I was looking at them last night. They look like a little 10-round AR magazine. I'm granted you're using the 223 case, 223 Remington case. So it's just, for whatever reason, it's something to do with the feeding lips and the follower. You have to have the magazine has to be designed differently. So you can't just use it. Now, it does say on the positive side, 350 Legends case diameter allows for the use of a double feed magazine design, which means that the new cartridges magazines are as quick and easy to load as the standard 223 Remington magazine. The dual staggered columns also mean the 350 Legend doesn't suffer from the same capacity penalty as does the 450 Bushmaster. But again, I'm not seeing any 30-round magazines out there right now for 350 Legend. I'm only seeing 5 and 10. Probably because, the intention of a lot of the people for that round is going to be hunting. They have no reason to buy a 30. I guess if you want to make that your primary firearm, go right ahead. I mean, the ammunition's not that expensive. You couldn't make it your primary gun. You want some pretty significant takedown power within 200 yards. It would make a heck of a self-defense rifle with some of these ballistic tips that they offer.
Well, is it standard rule across the country that your hunting rifles can only hold 5 rounds, or is that just state by state?
I can't. I think it first depends on what kind of game you're going after. Let's just talk deer. I know for Nebraska, if I'm not mistaken, it's 5+1 or 6+1. I believe it's 5+1 in Nebraska for deer. Yeah.
That's pretty much a state by state law. I don't think West Virginia has any regulations as to mag limits for hunting, and certain game, like a boar. If you're going after wild boar, you're definitely wanting something that holds more than 5 rounds.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I would say. I mean, again, we'd have to look and see. Yeah, when it comes, anytime I've ever seen any of the hog hunting videos and movies and stuff and this and that, it's they're all running 30-round mags, either 5.56 or 300 blackout or 7.62 by 39.
Or 58 SOCOM, you know. They're
Yeah. Now, just kind of as a little energy comparison, so I'm looking at the data on the Winchester website, and they're showing you have yourself a 16-inch barrel for 300 blackout and a 20-inch barrel for 300 legend, 30-30 Winchester and 223 Remington. 350 legend does come out on top with about 110, 115 more foot-pounds of energy. And then they also brag about the perceived recoil. It's got 8.52, and I don't know if that's foot-pounds of recoil that you feel from it versus 9.64 for 30-30. So you do have less recoil, which means it would be great, again, even as a bolt-action rifle for a young shooter or somebody who's recoil sensitive, or you want to get somebody into a larger bore caliber, you know, and you have to use this kind of cartridge to hunt. It would be perfect for, I think, a younger person or somebody with a smaller frame. Bullet penetration in a 200-yard gel penetration comparison, which is just, you can take gel penetration comparisons however you want, but when they shoot it into the block of gelatin, the 350 Legend went 11.7 inches. That's for the deer season XP bullets. 243 Winchester went 9.5 inches, and 223 Remington went 7.3 inches at 200 yards. So they're definitely trying to hype up, you know, the power behind it, the comfort of use, the low cost. I mean, I think it has a lot to offer. But again, you know, it's kind of like what Squibb says. It was kind of that question that was really never asked was, you know, is it even necessary? But for what it offers, you know, if you're somebody who's thinking about going into it, look at those ballistics at 200 yards and 150 yards and make sure that it's going to have that energy that you need, first of all, for the minimum that you need for hunting whatever game you're going after. And then 2, make sure it's capable enough to make the humane kill. Like I had mentioned that comment I told you guys off of the Hootie Hoo video that I read to you guys. There were a few people that said, you know, looking at the ballistic coefficient of the round, looking at the velocity, it's not going to deliver. They can't deliver that kind of power. Winchester's lying. I don't believe that, but I'd like to see some numbers on it myself. So obviously, you want to make sure you can take down whatever you can as quickly as possible. So just make sure it's not, you know, you're not kind of setting yourself up for having to track down a deer all the way across the forest at the same time. So, but yeah, I mean, I would definitely like to try it. I'm kind of interested in it myself. And the fact I can pick up an upper for $200, I mean, that makes it way too tempting. Aside from the fact that I'll need to get a different magazine for it. And that's the other bad thing about the magazines. I think they're around $20 is what I'm seeing right now. But I don't believe that anybody currently offers a 30-round mag for it. Maybe at some point, if it gets more popular, maybe, say, Magpul might put one into production, but because they're starting to kind of branch out more to the calibers that they make magazines for.
Yeah, I don't think you would have any trouble with this round with going after deer with it. I mean, people hunt deer with a 357 lever gun all the time. It's probably going to be a little bit more powerful than what a 357 is. So, I really don't see it being that much of an issue getting a humane kill on a deer with it.
Yeah.
Especially if you got proper shot placement and whatnot. I mean, you should be able to do it.
Oh, yeah. Squibb, what are we looking at for, say, what would be kind of a maximum range for a deer with your 357, with a 357, say, lever gun? What are we thinking here? Like a 16-inch barrel, 200 yards, 150, what?
I'm going to say probably between 100 and 125 yards.
Okay.
But you probably could get it out to 200 yards, and that would be stretching it. I can tell you this. I seen a guy do a trick shot with a snub nose 44 Magnum. He had a balloon at 600 yards with it. Snub nose. So if you arc it and you know what you're doing, you can get the thing to travel. But for the rest of us who aren't stunt shooters and do exhibition for a living, I would say that I wouldn't take a shot over 200 yards with it, and I'd be skeptical of anything over 125.
Yeah. Well, and again, depending on what you want to do, there's a lot more rounds that are coming out for it now, and there's a lot of ammo options too. So it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Since this uses a 357 bullet, you could use self-defense ammunition from a reloader standpoint. A self-defense bullet, you could load your own shells and a self-defense type bullet is pretty decent for hunting. So you're going to get the expansion, you're going to create the wound cavity, that sort of thing on the animal that you would on a human being. So if for a reloader, this would be probably kind of a fun round to play with. You know, try to amp it up a little bit, maybe get a little bit, you know, get it cooking along. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what this round would do with like one of the Lehigh extreme penetrators or extreme defense rounds with that copper, because of being lighter, what kind of velocities you could get out of it, and exactly what it would do, what you could do to a deer with one of these, how well it would take it down with one of those.
Well, and taking into consideration that you're using a 357, bullet, 357 bullet. I mean, you look at what's out there. Look at all the different options that are out there. So you could definitely tailor make something or load something to your own liking. Yeah, I mean, it definitely offers a lot of possibilities out there. So I'm looking at here's the energy at 200 yards. This is what I'm seeing from the Winchester Super X load. 180 grain bullet at 200 yards. We're looking at 859 foot-pounds of energy. So that's pretty stout. 158 grain 357 Magnum energy at 200 yards is 454 foot-pounds. So you're definitely going to get a little bit of an advantage going over 350 Legend. But then again, you can also tailor load you can hand roll your 357 mag rounds to perform as much as you're safe doing, So it's definitely a possibility out there. Let's see, we missing any questions? I keep bumping over to the live comments over here. Guys, if you have any questions about the 350 Legend, just go ahead and let us know. If you're kind of curious about something, just go ahead and give us a holler. Calaveras says, what is the max distance for a 1911 mag dump? Squib, you want to chime in on that one?
yeah, sorry about the noise. Let me try to go someplace a little quieter. Oh, forget it. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. What was the distance? Let's see. It was moving away from me. I wouldn't go more than, say, 50 yards.
Yeah. I hear you. Travis T did say comparing energy with 5.56 and recoil with 30-30 is kind of unfair. Yeah, Travis T, I do agree with you on that. That's just Winchester's trying to just maybe persuade you in their advertising. They kind of get you away from looking at other calibers you might consider for that close distance of shooting, say 300 blackout or 30-30 and so on. Tula Moose says I call dibs on the 350 upper. Yeah, I don't have one yet. It doesn't mean I couldn't get one, but it's a possibility. Let's see if we had any other questions out there. Now, just looking at your firearms options, I went over to galleryofguns.com, the Gun Genie. That's where I usually like to go because when I purchase my firearms, I usually go through there and then I have them shipped to SS Pawn here in Lexington, Nebraska. If you look up 350 Legend, and I already had this all set up, you have a ton of options if you want to get into the caliber. Say you don't want to go the AR route. If you just want to go with, say, a bolt action rifle, I mean, it's now a caliber that, because initially when it was released, I think there was only about 4 or 5 firearms that were available for it at the time when the bullet, went on the shelf, when the round went on the shelves. CMMG had a rifle, Winchester had a rifle. There was like 4 different options for you, and that was it. Just looking over at the Gun Genie, and they're not the largest gun distributor. You can look at, say, Bud's Guns and find more options, but you got 31 different firearms that are available that shoot 350 Legend. So, David, you might like this one. Ruger's got an AR 5.56 pistol that's chambered in 350 Legend. So that's definitely a possibility for you there, Kingpin.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad.
Now, capacity, it says 5+1. It only comes with a 5-round mag. So we've got to get some 30-round mags in production for this stuff, especially if they're going to brag about being able to double stack it and not lose any capacity versus some of the larger ones like 450 Bushmaster, 458 SOCOM. There's a Mossberg Super Bantam bolt action rifle, which has different lengths of pull on the back you can put on with the back of the stock. So you could fit that for a youth if you wanted to. Now, it does have a 22-inch fluted barrel. Ruger's got the American Ranch out there also that you can get. They've also got the American Predator models out there. The American Ranch Standard, I think it's about a $450, $475 rifle. It's a little bit pricey, but you can get the compact model with the threaded barrel, which is pretty sweet. Ruger also has a full-size AR 5.56, the 16-inch barrel that you can get. Let's see. Ruger's magazines for 350 Legend cost $24.95. I'm assuming they've standardized the magazine across the board, so regardless of what firearm you buy, if it does accept the AR style magazine, it's gonna take one standard of mag. That would suck if each company kind of made their own 350 Legend magazine, which I don't think that's the situation. Let's see. We've got a Savage Hog Hunter out there. You can get. It's just a 4+1. But looks like that's just a bolt action rifle. The pictures are kind of small here. We've got your Savage Apexes out there too. Yep, you got your Savage Axis series, so you can get into one for around, get yourself a full bolt action rifle for around $350, which is not bad. Actually, Savage offers like 16 different rifles that are all chambered for different finishes and different barrel lengths and so on. So you've got a lot of options there. So, I mean, I see it as a caliber. I mean, it's good. Anytime we get a new caliber out there that generates any kind of, hype or excitement, I think it's definitely a good thing because it's going to be one of those things that can bring people into hunting and into shooting and so on. And, again, somebody might not be into deer hunting at all, but then they might realize, well, hey, I can use a straight wall cartridge in my state. I've got an AR lower. I can get a 5-round mag, get an upper, and I'm in business. So, I mean, it definitely has its appeal. So I think it's definitely one of those things that we should maybe look into if we're interested. But let's see here. See if we have any other questions at all. Let's see. C4 Defense says, in all seriousness, I want a 22 TCM rifle. Is there one out there? Is there one out there right now? I know we got that handgun. Sarge, I think you were showing off your Rock Island, if I'm not mistaken. I saw a video a couple days ago. I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to watch a lot of videos. But otherwise, yeah. I did have a few other topics to cover, but I'm going to probably save it for tomorrow when I try to do Caliber Corner again, as long as the internet's working. I was just going to talk about my Taurus G3, and then also I've got an AR-47 build that I'm working on right now too. We are getting the Bear Creek upper PSA lower ready to go. Going to get that all tested. I got my magazines in the mail on Friday. So I'll talk about a 7.62x39 AR pattern rifle, what to expect from it, and kind of what my total expenses were and so on. But I don't know. Rich, you guys have anything else you want to talk about, or are you guys good? Because that's pretty much it. I mean, I had a few other topics to cover, but I'm going to save them for tomorrow if that's okay. Mainly because I'm not down in the gun cave right now. So what's that?
Yeah, this is your show for the night. So
yeah,
you want to talk about?
Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and chime in real quick. Otherwise, we'll probably go ahead and call it. And make sure you guys check out the Guns and Geeks podcast tonight over on Matt's channel. I've got some house maintenance issues that I need to tend to. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it to that show tonight. Got a few things I'm working on, a couple things I need to tend to. But otherwise, yeah, any other questions? I think we're good to go. Armorman Axis says, we're just getting here. I'm sorry, man. I apologize. Yeah, we've been talking for about 30, 45 minutes about 350 Legend. Tomorrow on my channel, we'll talk about 450 Bushmaster. Look at the caliber, check it out, see if it's one of the things that look. I had a lot of people asking about 350 Legend, 450 Bushmaster, 458 SOCOM. And then also we need to get into the 6.5 series on the channel too. So if you don't thumbs up, he talks to your kid's teacher and everything is all downhill from there. I hope not. Jeez, man. Yeah, you guys better thumbs up this video. That's all I got to say. Let's see. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much about it. So, well, why don't we go ahead and close it out here? So, Rich, I want to thank you for opening up the stream and hosting the episode tonight. This will be the last episode of Caliber Corner. If people ever want to know where 107 is, I'm going to have them come over to you. And I'll take your episode and push it out there on social media. Let people know to check it out. Get it out there on Facebook and Twitter and all those other places. So, yeah. Hey, Rich, anything you want to say before we go?
There's no problem hosting this. I mean, we all have issues every so often. We don't help out each other. Who is going to, right? So
exactly, man.
Yeah, my pleasure hosting the show for you tonight. I got no problem doing it. So yeah, and every Sunday night, folks, on this channel, tune in around 8 p.m. Eastern-ish for This Week Unloaded. We have just a panel discussion. We'll have maybe 1-2 topics, and then we just talk about whatever comes to mind. Kingpin basically is my unofficial co-host for the show. So, we tend to come up with something to talk about every Sunday night until we go from when we start till Midnight Range sends out his invites for the closer. So be sure to check us out.
Whoosh.
There you go, man. And again, I do apologize for missing your show. Like I said, I was on the road, and I don't always have the best cell phone signal either. It would have been kind of spotty, and there would have been a lot of road noise. But again, once this move is all done, I have a lot more free time, I can tell you that. Because got a lot of stuff to box up. But no, man, I appreciate you hosting your show. It's a great show. I want you guys all to check it out. Make sure you guys subscribe to everybody here on the panel. Kingpin, anything you want to say before we go?
I just want to say thank you to Rich for hosting the show, and thank you to Travis and Squib for joining in and teaching me a little bit about round that I didn't know anything about.
Well, I do apologize. I had everything all set up on my computer. I had all my tabs ready to go, all my information I was going to share, and then 5:55, internet went down. I thought, well, I can wait and see if it comes back up or keep people waiting, but then it would cut into the time that we have, and those other shows are going to be firing up here pretty soon too. So, all right. Squibby, anything you would say before we go, brother?
Yeah, once again, apologize for the noise. I'd like to thank Rich White for jumping in and helping out with the show tonight. That's something else we do other than carpooling for helping each other out. And somebody else who helped out was Roll Call 219. Check out his channel, Roll Call 219. After the rally on Saturday, none of us had a laptop. We're back at the Airbnb and none of us had a laptop, so we couldn't go live. So he went live for us and allowed us to do an after rally show, and he hosted it all from his home in Indiana. And that's more of us helping each other out like Rich helped out tonight. So thanks to both of you, Rich and Roll Call, and check out their channels.
Yeah, definitely check out Roll Call's channel, guys. It is very, very cool. He's got a lot of great content on there, and he's a good guy, really cool dude, definitely pro 2A, somebody who's on our side, so do check him out. All right, so let's see who is joining in this evening. We've got Philo joined us this evening. New York Outcast is out there. He says, moving sucks. Haven't done it in 15 years, but I'm going to need to so I can get out of the state. Hey, man, we got plenty of room for you out here in Nebraska, buddy. I know we've only been in our house for barely 4 years now, which isn't a long time for us. And just got everything unpacked, and now we're packing her back up. So Seven Wonders, thanks for joining in. Kingpin was out there and over here. Jason Stewart, thank you so much. And Armament and Access in the house. Philo. Let's see who else was joining in. Two Live Moo was out there. Did see a little Calaveras 32 special joining in. Weston Props was out there too. Props or Probst? Probst. I want to make sure I get that right, buddy. Sarge is out there also. And Travis T has been watching. A lot of good stuff. I think that's pretty much about it. So, guys, this has been Caliber Corner episode number 107. Is that right? This will be the lost episode. We'll do Caliber Corner episode number 108 tomorrow. Right now, I have it set to go from 6 to basically 7:30. And about 7:30, I'll be shutting it down so that we can head on over to Hit or Miss Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock. So, guys, make sure you check that out over on Night Strike's channel. Make sure you guys check out, guntube.org and also gunchannels.com. Lots of good stuff over there. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much about it, guys. So thanks for watching. If you're just joining in, do check out our little discussion on 350 Legend. It's been an interesting little chat. And again, we don't have a ton of information on it because it's only been out for about a year, not even. Although there's a pretty good selection of ammo out there now and firearms, and it's relatively inexpensive to get into. And it's kind of cool that we have that option for those people that need it or people that are just curious about it. So that's it, guys. I want you guys all to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. Y'all have a good one.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye-bye.
Adios, Felicia. Adios. Adios, Felicia. Te amo.
Auf Wiedersehen.
There you go. Wiener Schnitzel. Oh, ja. Das ist gut.
I guess I should stop this.
Sure. Minute range in the